to the 6th episode of the Knitting Spring podcast. My name is Tonya. I want to thank all new and returning viewers for joining me talking about my knitting. And if you're new, just a quick recap. I live in Manhattan, New York, and that's where I'm coming from today. Let's get started. It's been a busy week. I've had a lot of deadlines at work, so not too much knitting this week. Couple of acquisitions, surprise. And all right, let's talk about my finished object. My finished object is my tube socks for my nephew. These are a Christmas gift, and I am using Tube Socks for Kids by Jane Richmond. Yarn is Knit Picks Hawthorne Fingering. The color is Irvington. And I used US 1 2.25 millimeter needles. Excuse me. I cast on 10 stitches for the toe. I increased using the toe up seamless toe, and that's in on my project page. With this project, the pattern I use, I can't remember who it is, but I have it memorized by now, so I don't look at it when I'm increasing. But it makes a rounder toe rather than that square toe you usually get with a Turkish cast on. And then I increased till I got to 50 or 52 stitches. And then I knit 12 inches. And then right before I got to the cuff, I decreased to 48 stitches. And then I did a 2 by 2 rib cuff for 2 inches. And then I bound off using Elizabeth Zimmerman's sewn bind off. That's what I usually use for all of my stretchy bind offs. It's stretchy. I just like it. I sort of like the idea of finishing it off with a needle and yarn. It's just something that I found when I was doing my sweaters this summer. And I really like it. It gives a nice finished edge. I don't know if you can see. It's not wavy, but it's stretchy. And I really like it. It gives me a nice clean edge that I like, and I don't have to worry about any waviness for that. So that's another Christmas project finished for me. And so we're going to move on to my whips, which is next to last Christmas item I have to make. And that is my niece's tube socks. I have one finished and one almost done. This is the first sock that's completely finished. I'm using the same pattern, and I'm using Opal. Hold on, I have the tag here. I was gonna record yesterday, but I just didn't have the energy to do it. So it's Monday after work, and this is Opal Dreamtime 6 Fock, and it's 150 grams, 420 meters, and the color that the shop said is 5508. And I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but anyways, it's really nice. My niece picked out the yarn this summer when I went to visit them. And instead of using a size 1 needle, I had to go up to a size 2 with this. This yarn is quite a bit thicker than the other sock yarns I've used to date. But I like it. And I think it's knitting up really beautifully. I love the colors, and I think she's going to love these. I think these would be good for a little girl or a big girl. So she's going to have nice, cute socks. And I did the same thing as I did with my nephew. I did the Turkish cast on. I cast on 10, used the seamless rounded toe to increase. Sorry, I think some of my hair is in there. And then I only did 48 stitches on this because I went up to a size 2 needle. So that is size US 2 2.75 millimeter needle. And I measured when I was knitting at lunch today, and I'm about 9 inches. So I have 3 inches left to go just in the tube part, and then I have 2 more inches for the cuff, and I'll be done with another Christmas gift. I am so excited. I am in the home stretch. I can't believe it, for Christmas knitting. And this is in my hook and gauge project bag. I had to use a little bit bigger project bag than a sock bag because this is just, I didn't pull from the center, I pulled from around, and it's just a lot bigger. And I still have a lot left. I mean, there is a lot of yarn in this hank, I guess, ball of yarn. So I'm moving right along with those, and I'm hoping to be finished with these, if not tomorrow night, then by Wednesday for sure. And then my other project on the needles, well, I have several projects on the needles, but I haven't made any progress. I'll talk about those in a minute. I have, last time I podcast, I mentioned that my sister-in-law accidentally felted my brother's favorite hat. So I wasn't planning on making another hat for him, but you know, hats take like nothing. I just cast this on yesterday. It looks black on screen, but I assure you it's navy. And I am using the London Beanie pattern. It's free. If you go to Ravelry, you put in London Beanie, and it takes you to another website and you can get it. But it's just a regular beanie. This is a beanie that I've made my brother several times, so I know this is exactly what I'm knitting, exactly what he lost. So it's the same pattern, but I'm using different yarn. I'm using Cascade Superwash 220, and the color is 854. So here's the tag. And it is 100% superwash wool, 100 grams, 220 yards. And I am knitting this, I did it's hard to see because it's so dark. That's a little better. You can see a little better there. This is, I did the ribbing on US 5s, 3.75 millimeters. And then just for the rest of the hats, the pattern actually suggests you stripe, but he just wanted a plain navy hat. So I'm making another plain navy hat. And I'm on the just knitting in the round now. I'm trying to see if you can, there we go. You can see the ribbing there. And this stitch marker is a little octopus I got from Miss Babs. I love, I don't want to say octopus or octopi, but you know what I mean. And then I just always put another one so I know where the halfway mark is. It's just something I do. It just helped me keep track of where I am in my knitting. It just helps me keep count of things. And then, yeah, I'm thinking I should be done with this as well by the end of the week. And if I get this done by the end of the week, I will be done with my Christmas knitting. And then it's all for me for a while. Well, until I start my brother's knee-high socks, but I'm going to wait for like Christmas vacation for those. So the other things that I have on the needles is my deep sea jellyfish sweater. Sorry about the show notes. And I made a little bit of progress on it, but it's nothing to show you. It's like, I think I knit like 6 rounds on it. I just haven't had a lot of time to knit, and I really have been trying to get these Christmas presents done. So. And then my other one is For the Love of Gradient Shawl. It's the patterns For the Love of Rainbows by Mina Phillips. So I haven't made any progress on that one. You know, you can only do so much, and I pretty much have edged this weekend. And then, so my brother's hat, sorry about that, I'm switching back, is in my Studio in the Green project bag, and it's one of her sock size bags, and I showed this last week. It has the little pouch in the middle, and it's perfect, absolutely perfect for a hat. It fits in here great. So, but I've been carrying these around today and last week. Believe it or not, that is it for the knitting. 10 minutes. That's it. That's all I got this week. All right, so stash enhancements. You've probably seen on several podcasts already that Mina from the Knitting Expat podcast, Kristen from the Yarngasm podcast, Jenny from Tiny Fox's podcast, and Carlene from the Carlenergy podcast, plus a couple of others. We met up at Gauge Intention the weekend before last for the Plucky Knitter trunk show, and it was so much fun. There was a line. Mina and I got there maybe 10:15, 10:30, and there was already a line around the corner. It's when you walk in for Gauge Intention, you walk down a little hall, and it's not that far in, but it's far enough that I've never been there when there's been a line that long, and there was a little bit of craziness trying to get into the yarn, but we had a great time. We found a table in the back and just sat and knit and chatted, and so much fun. Mina brought minis with her, and I forgot to bring those today because I just forgot. But anyway, so what I got at Gauge Intention, and this is so good for me, you will not believe it. 2 skeins. I only bought 2 skeins of yarn. I did so good. I got 1 skein of Plucky Knitter in her Primo fingering. It's 385 yards, 75% superwash merino, 20% cashmere, and 5% nylon. And this color is Holloway. And it's a little darker than what it is. It has a little bit more green than what it's showing up, but it's pretty close. It's really beautiful. I don't have anything. It looks similar to the Hawthorne fingering that I'm using for my nephew, but it's not. And super soft. This is just going to live in my stash for a little bit until I think about what to do with it. I just have never tried Plucky yarn, and so I figured I was there. I might as well get some. Surprise. And then the other thing I got is this gorgeous skein of cashmere Aran. It's 100% cashmere. It's 180 yards, and the color is Maelstrom. And it's a beautiful gray. It is so soft. I know I'm making this into a hat for myself. Absolutely. It's a perfect yardage, and I can't imagine anything nicer to wear. This is for me. This, I'm not sure. This could be a gift. This could be for me, but, I'm not really sure. And then after that, we hopped on the subway and went over to Park Slope, and we went to another yarn store called Argyle. And when I walked in the door, this is the first thing that caught my eye. And it's coming unskeined. Sorry. And I really like Malabrigo, but the color just caught me. I mean, it is just so luscious. Absolutely luscious. I just absolutely love it. And this is the only thing I got there. So 3 skeins of yarn on a shopping trip. Yay me! And then, so this is Malabrigo. It's their Rasta. It's about 90 yards, 150 grams. And the color is Porino. I'm not really sure. I've never seen that word before. There you go. But it's lovely. It's super chunky. And maybe a hat. I don't know. I just absolutely loved the color. This is so in my wheelhouse. I walked in the door and I saw this and I was like, I know, there's nothing else for me to do. And I looked around and saw some other things, but I have a really nice stash now. I mean, I've gone to Rhinebeck and got all that lovely stuff, and I don't want to just, I'm so overwhelmed with all the stuff I want to knit, and I can't knit fast enough to use all the yarn that I have, so I'm trying to bring it back. And then, again, on my last podcast, I showed Wool and Vine's Dirty on Purpose Strasse sock yarn that I'm going to make my brother's knee highs out of. And someone suggested it might not be strong enough for him. So I'm going to suggest for him not to wear those to work, just to make those dress socks. I mean, he doesn't wear dress shoes or anything like that, but, you know, something that he doesn't wear every day. And then when I was thinking about it, because I wasn't sure if I should do that, I went to Simply Sock Yarn Company, and I've never used trekking before, so I got their trekking XXL, and this is 75% superwash wool, 25% nylon. It's 100 grams, 459 yards, and yeah, it's a pretty tonal gray, and it's just not as soft or as rich as the Woolen Vine yarn. She has such depth to her colors. It's just absolutely beautiful yarn. I mean, there's just so much layered in there with the colors. I'm not sure how she does it, but it's absolutely beautiful. It really almost glows, her yarn. It's just so beautiful. I really love her yarn. I told you, she's one of my favorite dyers. And this just doesn't have, I mean, it's nice. I mean, I think it's going to be I know trekking's supposed to be a really sturdy yarn, but my first pair of knee socks, I really want to make those for my brother. I think he'll love them. He really asked for a pair of wool socks, and I can't think of a better gift to give him, and he really means a lot to me. My brother and I are actually only 10 months apart. So for 2 months out of the year, we're the same age. And growing up, since we were so close, we were in separate grades. I was born in September and he was born in July. And so I started school. It's right after the cutoff. So my mom had me tested, and she didn't want to hold my brother back and have us in the same grade, but we were really close growing up. And it was almost like we were twins growing up because we were so close in age. And, you know, like frick and frack, where one went, the other went. So I'm really close with him, and I really want him to have that. I think they'll just be beautiful socks, and he really appreciates all my knitting and everything. And just one mishap, not too bad for a hat for quite a few years of knitting. So, you know, things happen, and I don't mind making another hat for him. So that is it for yarn acquisitions. I always have something, but, you know, just, I thought this would be interesting. Maybe this will be I got 2 balls of this, or, yeah, balls, I guess you call these Hanks balls, for later, for another pair of socks for him at some point. So, yeah, after we went to Argyle, we went to have some lunch, and then Nina and I decided to go up to Nitty City on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. She was staying in Times Square, and I live in Manhattan, so she said she wanted to see if she could catch Nitty City, and we went up there and raced there just in the nick of time. We had 10 minutes to get into the store, and shopped around a little bit, and then we both stopped and had rested our feet a little bit, chatted, had a cupcake, and it was really nice. It was so nice to spend time with her, and I love when she visits, and we all had a great time. I got to meet Jenny from the Tiny Paper Foxes podcast, and she's such a delight. That was my first time meeting her. I've watched her podcast, but I sat and talked to her, and it was really nice. We had a really nice day that everybody got to speak to somebody and have time and listen, and we all sat together, had lunch, and told stories, and it was so nice. It was such a wonderful day, and knitting friends really are the best. It was relaxing, and I had a wonderful time, and I can't wait to do it again with all you guys soon, hope. Well, after the holidays, I'm thinking. And then when I was at Gauge Intention, Michelle told me that she's going to be having a spinning class in the next 2-3 weeks. So I'm definitely signing up for that. I'm going to go over there, try to spin a little bit on my own before then, and then sort of get down to the basics. And I can't wait for that. I'm really excited about her class. I like Michelle. She's so nice, and so welcoming to her store. You can browse, you can chat. She's there for questions. It is really my favorite store in the 5 boroughs. I love going there. It's a little bit of a trek for me to get there, but honestly, I think it's worth it. It's dangerous for me, but it's absolutely worth it. She has just an incredible selection of yarn, and she's so nice to deal with and so organized and knowledgeable. Really a great place. If you haven't been, you should definitely go and check it out. She's only open on Saturdays and Sundays, I think from 11 to 6. But beautiful, beautiful stuff. And tons of tables to sit at and knit and chat. And there's tons of little cafes. Her shop's in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. And I can't remember this cross street she's on, but when you out of the shop and you go on the cross street south of that, there's restaurants and cafes, and there's even a couple vegan places. If you're vegan, I'm not, but it's, they're delicious. They're absolutely wonderful. I've gone into a couple myself, and it's really neat. I really like Greenpoint a lot. If it hadn't been for Gauge and Tension, I'm not sure if I would have necessarily checked out that borough. I didn't know anybody who lived over there. I just never had the occasion to go there. But really nice neighborhood. And let's see. So India Long. So I'm excited about this. It's December 1st. I'm going to start the India Long. Open-ended, like I said. I'm going to start with Woolen Vinyl Long. I have 2 projects coming up with her yarn, and that's going to run 3 months from December through the end of February, just because Christmas and, just figured tag that on. I'm going to be knitting during that time if you can. If you're doing the Grinch along with the Knitmore girls, which I plan on doing because before Thanksgiving I plan to be done with my knitting for Christmas. So I'm definitely going to do the Grinch along, and then I'm also participating in the Downseller Studios Pigskin Party Cow, and I have 4 or 5 projects totaled for points in there, so I'm slowly getting there, and one of them's my sweater, so that was exciting. And then I think I'll be able to participate in Carlinergy's local yarn knit along, because I'm going to be using Woolen Vine yarn, and I consider her local to me. She's a local dyer, and so I'm going to be using her yarn, and I'm not sure if I can, I'm sure I'll be able to find a couple other, but those are the 3. 2 besides, well, I can't win anything, but I got to talk to Kristen. She said she'd donate a skein of Woolen Vine yarn for a prize, so yay. I just haven't gotten together to talk to her about it or get the yarn. She can donate anything. I think all of her yarn is wonderful. I knit a sweater for my niece this summer out of her DK Smitten, and wow. So I can't wait to knit a sweater for myself out of that. And maybe, probably not till after Thanksgiving will I do a swatch out of the Stellar Banshee, but I am itching. I saw Nina, oh my goodness, my brain. I saw Mina's new shawl pattern, and she used Stellar Banshee. It looks gorgeous. Gorgeous knitted up. I can't wait to have a sweater out of that. I can't tell you. I love knitting sweaters, and I think that's going to be a favorite of mine. I love her yarn. Have I said that enough? Kristen, I love your yarn. All right. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. This is going to be a short one. This is, I don't have much going on. I've been really busy at work. 12-hour days. We've had deadlines and everything, and I thought maybe today's Monday, November 16th, and I thought yesterday, Sunday, I'd sit down, but I was just beat, absolutely beat from the week, and I just needed to veg and not think for a couple of days. And what did I watch? I started watching Grimm maybe last spring or something, but then I just paused on it, and I forgot it was on Prime, so I watched a couple episodes of Grimm, which really caught my interest again, so I'm having fun watching that on Amazon Prime. And then, a couple weeks ago, Amazon has a new series coming out starting at the end of this week. It's called Man in the High Castle, and they had 2 episodes as a preview to their premiere of that series. So well done. The series is based on a novel by Philip Dick, who wrote the book Android's Dream of Electric Sheep. It's something like that. But it's what Blade Runner is based on. And Blade Runner is based on Philip Dick's book, Android's Dream of Electric Sheep, or something like that. And there's Ridley Scott's doing the directing or producing Man in the High Castle, and you can see a couple of odes of his to Blade Runner. And I love Blade Runner. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And the sets and the storyline and the ambiguity of that movie really intrigues me. And if you haven't seen it, there's definitely 2 things that play an ode to, and I haven't read either of those books. I should, but I haven't. I do like science fiction. I'm not a huge science fiction fan, but every now and again I'll pick them up. I've read another favorite science fiction book of mine is the Martian Chronicles, and the author's name is eluding me, but a friend of mine recommended that for me a long time ago. I used to be a voracious reader. I don't read as much as I used to. I used to read like 45 books a year. I would just plow through them. And now knitting. But, excuse me, I really thought I was going to get through this podcast without coughing. I've been doing so much better, but I haven't talked to anybody for a half an hour going strong, but I'm getting better. I saw my doctor last week, and he said my lungs sound much better, and I'm getting there. I'm almost 100%. So my doctor said I'm getting better. I feel better, and not too bad, just one cough. But anyways, Martian Chronicles, and back to the Man in the High Castle. All the episodes will be available November 20th, which is Friday, I think. 17, 18. Yeah, Friday. Very well done. Interesting premise. The premise of the series is if the United States and the Allies lost the war in the Axis front won, and what would happen and where we would be now. And there's intrigue, etc., going into it. I really enjoy it. I don't think you necessarily have to like science fiction because it's more alternative history than it is science fiction. I'd say it's alternative history. If you really like history, I think this would be intrigue you. And I really like history a lot too. So English and history were my favorite subjects. I like science too, but they're the ones that have stuck with me through the years. Really enjoying. Like I said, I used to read a ton. I don't read as much as I used to. I listen to audiobooks more now. I'm currently listening to The Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith. I've been listening to that for about 3 months. I'm not getting very far on that. I've been knitting and relaxing, and I'm not really sure why I'm not reading that much anymore. This has only been like the last year or 2 that I've really stopped reading as much as I used to, and I'm not sure why. Maybe I just need a break. Maybe it's just something else I'm interested in. I've been putting in podcasts lately and knitting, and that's what I've been listening to. And I have a ton. I'll talk about some of my favorite. Well, I don't want to say favorite because I really like everybody. Everybody has a different point of view, and you learn something new from everybody, and you pick up different patterns and stuff. But I'll talk about I'll write some of them down because I'm a little bit behind, and I listen to or watch quite a few podcasts. I think that's it. I'm at about 30 minutes. It's sort of half of what I normally have been recording, but I think that's it. I think I've rambled quite a bit this time. I didn't have too much structure, but yeah, I'll hopefully see you in about a week or so. And take care, and thanks for joining me. And I'll talk to you all soon. Happy knitting. Bye.